I have a story that's a little risque. I went to one of the pools one day. You know, who could you meet here in April? I met a guy. The kind that wears a bathing suit with socks and shoes. I said, how are you, mister? I figured he's lonesome. I didn't even understand him. He had a hair lip. You want to come up to my room? I said, what for? I'd like to give you a gruin. I said, I gotta watch. Oh, but this guy was a real nut. He keeps it up. He can come up to my room and I'll give you a thrill. I said, you'll give me a thrill? I've been married 5 times. Yeah? You ever been kissed in the navel? I said, yeah. He said, from the inside? I said, yeah. It's like a French diplomat that kisses babies before they're born. I could take this girdle off, I'd give $1 million. Women will paralyze you. One looks at me in the solarium, she says, why is your hair gray here and black here? I says, du hab ich nicht Consurs. I said, here I ain't got no worries. Who do you think told me this joke? A school teacher. You heard the story? Well, it's not exactly a story, it's true. Somebody asked me if I know why the Chinese people have slanty eyes, and I said no. So they told me, they eat white rice, they get constipated, so they go, When I was single, I didn't know what to do, and now that I know, I ain't got with who. Had 5 girls last night, and I said, where are you stopping? They said the nutless. That's the nautilus. They have no men there. See, they call it the nutless. This one is square as a $9 bill, this one here. We heard one about 2 faggots who were riding in a car and a truck hit them in the back and one of the faggots got out. He says to the truck driver, look what you did to my car. Truck driver says, I'll shut up before I shove it. He says, no, you don't, Mary. You're not settling out of court with me. Hear about the girl who swore she was a virgin, sat in a fire hydrant, and slid right down the ground? I always say that people who are normal enjoy a risque story. People who aren't normal, they say she's very vulgar. And if we embarrass you, we'd like you to tell your friends. How bad can I be? I'm on the beach 10 years. I only had 2 suspended sentences. You like me, honey? Yeah? It's my trouble. Only broads go for me. I'm east side, I'm west side, I'm all around the town. They call me bareback Gertie 'cause my pants are always down. I am strictly kosher. I never eat any pork, but I get lots of bologna on the sidewalks of New York. I sing little ditties like this. Did you ever hear this story? The Jewish guy that went up to the clerk in the Kenilworth, he says, you got a room? The guy says, you, it'll cost $100 a day. The guy says, I don't mind what you're charging. Got a stable for my horse? The guy says, that'll cost you $100 a day, too. The guy looks at the clerk, he says, look, I don't mind you robbing me, but my horse ain't Jewish. Isn't that a cute story? You can tell it to the kids. Oh, the kids are very square today, right? Children don't know nothing today. An 18-year-old runs over to me. She says, you ever douche with 7-Up? And I've been using Squirt all my life, Stan. A kiss on the hand may be quite continental, but diamonds are a girl's best friend. You ever meet him in front of the pawn shop and kiss him under the balls? I sing happy songs. I don't sing sad songs. People come to a nightclub to laugh. They want to cry, they stay home. I don't sing sad songs. Let my mother-in-law, that rat bastard, sing sad songs. She knew how good I was living, she'd kill herself. She thinks I'm a bellhop. I'm a nun. I'm doing the nun story with B.S. Pulley. There's a guy plays with his own organ all night. Yeah, it's a cute story. True story. About a guy who had an obsession. He hated girls all his life because since he was a little boy, his father told him that girls have teeth on their little pucchiacchia. That's Italian. So he grew up, but he finally met a girl. He fell in love with her. He married her. So on the wedding night, he went to sleep in the living room. So she called him. She said, "What, are you crazy? Don't you know when you get married, there are certain duties that a husband has to perform?" Oh, he says, "I love you, honey, but since I'm a little boy, my father told me that, I'm a little afraid it's got teeth on it." She says, "Teeth? What, are you crazy?" She says, "Come here, I'll show you." So she showed him. Took a look. She says, "Does it have teeth?" He says, "How can you have teeth when your gums are so bad?" I'm not warning you, honey. I'm just telling you. Take it for what it's worth. It's about a young couple who were trying to have horizontal recreation. They lived in one room. And they had a 7-year-old boy, and the father didn't know how to get rid of him. So finally he walked over, he said, "Son, I want you to look outside that window. Every time you see a red hat go by, I'll give you $1. The kid came back in 10 minutes. He says, "You know, Pop, you're really screwing yourself out of a lot of money. The whole Shriners Parade has gone by." Humpty Dumpty sat on the wall. Humpty Dumpty had a great fall. All the king's horses and all the king's men. Shit. Don't say dirty words in here. Well, I've been told I look like the great, great, great Sophie Tucker, and I wish I did. Do I look like Sophie? She says, and when my final curtain comes down, I'm the last of the red hot mamas. And there ain't no one like me. And she's right. Reminds me of women when they say, I met one the other day, she says, "I don't want to grow old." I says, "Die young." Women are so stupid. It's a great day when you can live to be old, right? Oh, I have a story that's going to flip you. It's about a New York buyer entertaining a model in the pump room in Chicago. This is very high class. I know it's high class. I gave the girl in the toilet 50 cents. She wouldn't give me a piece of paper. What can I do? Well, this broad is eating like she's got 9 rectums. Patty de foie, pheasant under glass, piper high tick, the whole pitch, baked Alaska, and this guy is looking at her like this. He says, "Young lady, I'd like very much to ask you a question." She says, "Go ahead." He says, "Your mother cooks like this for you?" She said, "No." He said, "Why not?" She says, "My mother ain't looking to offer me, that's why." And that's a true story, as I heard it. I got a million of them. I heard another one about a Texan that's very cute, Lil. Disturbing a pilot that was bringing in a plane. He says to the guy in the tower, "Roger, over." Guy says, "Over." He says, "I'm bringing in a passenger plane with 100 passengers. The guy in the tower says, "What are you, nuts, in a 2-seated plane?" He says, "You heard me, son." He pulls in the plane, and everybody runs out of the tower, and the guy from the tower walks over, and he sees 100 little guys this big walking out of the plane. He says to the pilot, "Why didn't you tell me they were midgets?" Pilot says, "They ain't no midgets, son. They're Texans with the bullshit let out of them." You know how they brainwash a Texan? They give him an enema. You ever hear the one where the old man went in the ladies' room by mistake, and this woman got it? She says, "Get out of here. This is for women only." He says, "Don't scream. So is this." You ever hear the story about the girl who couldn't join a key club because she didn't have a key, so she joined a country club?